While I'm thinking of it, I mean, I'm not usually this calm about everything, and I want to put up these videos while I'm thinking of it for my own reference. Um, I keep looking back at what took place, and then there's so many things that I'm afraid to say or whatever because I think I don't have credibility. But at this point, it doesn't really matter. You know, what took place where my family and these doctors pulled this stunt on me that did induce a kind of a breakdown, and then when I was sort of desperate and needed treatment, they had a recommendation waiting. And look, I mean, I looked at the brochure, but what's amazing is this: the place that they sent me to, um, and keep in mind that the game with these people is really to cover over a bunch of things. But here's what's not in a brochure, for example, and this is like across the board. People don't really know what the story is. Well, they sent me to a place. Um, what they didn't tell me is that I found out later is that this place is known to treat people who are a majority of people there have what are called characterological disorders. That is to say, people who are difficult, who lie, who can't be trusted, who are aggressive. Um, well, first of all, to put a person with traumatic stress in an environment with people that are spiteful and trying to get back at each other and things, right off the bat, I mean, I almost fell apart a number of times. Um, but second of all, to put a person in a place that I did not know that if naturally, if that's the story, that these are people who come there who, deny any wrongdoing, people, have been harming people and don't know it, that kind of thing. Well, gee whiz, I mean, no wonder it was hard to get believed. But more importantly, one of the first things that happened there was, for the doctors to call up and to say that I wasn't telling the truth about what they had done, and for my own father to call up and say I wasn't telling the truth. And then I later realized that much of what is going on there with these younger people is a systematic covering up of abuse in their home. Well, to do that to a traumatized person, I tried to use it to my advantage. But here's the thing, the only way I ended up, what I did is I left there and everything, but there was nowhere to go. I mean, I was going to go see a new psychiatrist, and what would I tell them? What would I tell them? I have a totally different version of events, and that's when I decided I was going to take this risk and get off all those pills and see what happened. Now, I did ultimately, after 4 months, call my family and tell them I wanted to go to this place where I was comfortable and got recovery. But I mean, first of all, I should be dead a bunch of times over. I mean, go. I had no choice to get out of this. I mean, there was no way out anymore. But wait a minute. I'm saying the fact that they pulled this stunt that interrupt. I mean, really, they really interrupted the recovery that was going very well. Right when it was, they had this place waiting, and that this place that was a bit of a setup in some sense, and that they didn't tell me what kind of place it was. That this was a place that right off the bat would not believe what I said, would believe anything the doctors and the family said, were in the habit of covering up abuse in general, and also was littered full of people who are doing really twisted stuff to get at people because they have characterological difficulties. Okay, well, that I almost didn't make it out of that, and that did not help. I keep looking at things as a long road to this space I'm in now, which is a safe and healthy and not with the medications or psychiatry. But I could be dead at any time during that. And the thing is, all the way through, they denied and denied what I said had happened. And they put me in a situation where, I really shouldn't have made it out of that. Um, you know, and a bunch of other things that took place there that were geared toward one of the things that happened that was amazing is that I went in and the psychiatrist didn't believe me about anything I was saying, and she was attacking me about all that, and since it wasn't working to tell her the truth, we just went on a subject that seemed safer, which is that she was interested in knowing like about my political work at the school and my political opinions. Well, here's the thing, is she said from the psychological testing that I'm a person who has the most primal fear you could have, that is their mind disintegrating. Well, so she then proceeded, since she didn't want to talk about, I wasn't going to let her attack the fact of what had happened with my family. We spent about 6 months where she just attacked and attacked and attacked my political opinions. Now, I don't see any reason for that. She was having a really interesting time seeing if she could undermine, just my opinion of the world, and I really didn't understand that at all. But I finally told her, this really has to stop. I said, look, because I'm saying, like, you're a traumatized person, you're just interrogating me, get more and more upset, and I don't know what state of mind this is going to push me into. This is very dangerous. I want you to stop this now. I couldn't get out of the therapy, and then I finally, eventually said, you know something, listen, if you keep doing this, take a person that's traumatized, take a person that's frightened, and continue doing this just because, I said that you don't like my opinion or something. I said, look, I don't know what's going to happen. I said, if I go into some kind of dissociative state or become psychotic or, suicidal, listen, just tell you ahead of time, I'm telling you to please stop. Now, because she felt like, oh, I see, you may harm yourself or someone else if this continues, and at that point, they let me switch to the therapist. And this went on and on. But to put a person through that for no reason, and just as because apparently there was a shot at seeing if they could get me to stop, maybe stop saying, to continue the relationship with my family. But what else is interesting is that this psycho father of mine, every time I've been at the recovery place in Arizona, they don't try to visit, they don't try to come up, they don't try to do anything. There's something they sense that they don't try to do that. When I was in this place, they were trying to see if they could come up there, come into family therapy, manipulate the therapist. It seemed to me that they were aware that this was a place where they'd have me and they could try to do that. They didn't even try to do that at the other place. Now that's amazing. I shouldn't be alive. And, I don't have much credibility, but I'm saying they also did attempt to slap me with another label. It's another reason I had to get off the medicines, because by that time, you take a traumatized person and you run them through that. Well, by that time, these fear reactions and the anger that we was bringing up, well, they said by the end, they said, well, we're going to diagnose you with PTSD and some kind of psychotic condition. And I said, psychotic condition? Wait a minute, I don't want that on my record. And they said, well, no, that just means that there's a certain level of fear that comes over you, and we attack what you're saying, and that level of fear is a psychotic level of fear. You're afraid of your mind disintegrating or whatever. Well, Jesus Christ, now I'm going to go through life with that title, so that's why I got into psychiatry. But that thing was geared to discredit me, to keep the family doing what they wanted to do. And that fucking scumbag, my family had a field day with them trying to get inside that place. And at the end of the day, the reason I had to do what I did is they simply couldn't. I said, look, fine, got all this recovery, now I'm setting up myself now. But they said, you're going to have to, we're going to have some confrontation with the family at the end where you go your word against theirs. That's why I had to leave. But this is really dangerous to do to people. And I'm saying I did see people in there who came in there, young people, came in there basically fine. By the end of that thing, they were carving themselves up and I had to go to a locked unit. What evil is this? And there's all types of stuff like that going on. And I just want to make a video in case I forget, because I do now tend to dissociate, get amnesia. And I want to put this on a record of some kind because, my life's been in danger so many times, and this really is an invisible form of like torture they carry out, and I just want to make a video.